Keep this. Is there a way to get in a fourth spiral? I think that you could cut the fourth awaken for the fourth spiral, but we're playing 4 Uros, and so I think that is a little too many of that effect if you play like the full 4/4. Playing against burn. Guess we're just gonna go basic mountain here. No, let's get a tap Triome and then go spiral into mountain off of reflecting pool. Maybe it's better to wait and see if they have Eidolon though, because Eidolon's so bad against that, or good against us. Yeah, I think 8 of the Explorer cards. It's been a little much for me in other decks, and so I think I don't want it here, but I don't think it's unreasonable to play 8. They do have the Eidolon. Nice. Gotta put the exclamation point first, Poby, to get the deck. So we should be able to escape this next turn. Yeah, I've played 8 before, and it just has felt like it's like if you have 3 in your hand in a lot of games, it's just too bad. I think a lot of games you just have all of these effects and no action. So I've liked not playing the full 8, but obviously both of the cards are busted, so I wouldn't fault you for playing 8. Valky plus release to the wind sounds fun. Fun but bad. A good combination. A beautiful combination. So my opponent probably has Skullcrack up here. I think we're still just escaping. Down to 8. Opponent dealing 8 damage to us in one go is not very easy, but certainly possible. We'll just see if they have it. If you're gonna play 4 invasion, I can see go down a spiral. Yeah. I think yeah, that's definitely like the decision point. Agree completely. All right, attack with Uro. They let the draw happen, so I guess that's game. What is their hand if they don't have another skull?
What's up? It's me, your friend, Aspiring Spike.
Guess their hand's just bad, huh? Nycladus, 4 months in a row. Welcome back. Hope you're having a good day today. Thank you for that. I'll Cryptic Command a Boros Charm. I think we don't need to counter Lightning Helix though. Boros Charm is just like the only spell here that's a 2-for-1. Yeah, I just don't need to counter that either. I want to save it for Skullcrack or Charm. My opponent's hand is double Boros Charm. We get to complain too, which is pretty nice. Sure, I'm glad I didn't counter one of the other spells. Unreal. I guess we got punished for fetching, so it's hard for us to complain too much. But their hand was exactly land double Boros Charm. We could have played around it, and we should have probably. No one to blame but ourselves. I think I have just like 1 explosives against them. I think Wrenn is also just pretty bad. I think Invasion still has like a card draw spell is not good, but better than our other options. Well, I mean, I fetched to get a land back with Wrenn and Six, but I agree that's like probably was not worth the 1 life, but I didn't even realize that they have like a combination of like, you know, Bolt, Helix, land, double Boros Charm is just like, I don't know. I didn't think it was possible to die there, but I was wrong. How did the first league go? We went 4-1. We just calculated. We're 20-5 overall with this deck, including the PTQ matches. And 2 of those losses are to Temple's Trickery. Yeah, they top deck the second charm that turn. Yeah, they top deck the second charm, or potentially the land. But yeah, but we could have won. So it's I think it's poor form to complain about your opponent's luck when you could have played around it. As a general rule of thumb. And Doom is 22-7. Hell yeah. Yeah, I think the deck is great. Yeah, I think we have the complaint equity to complain there, but I think it's bad form too, because again, we could have played around it. Dude, Athena is underneath the table, and I don't know how long she's been here. Sorry, I had a pet Athena request from earlier. I guess I'm filling it now, but that was like 30 minutes ago. And I called her, and then I got distracted. No, I called her, and then my stream crashed, and I forgot about the redemption. So you're saying all of Magic is poor form? Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I like to try to develop good habits, you know. Good etiquette. Yeah. The mana in this deck is pretty good, although it's taken a little while to figure it out. Like I've been tweaking it, but I think I've got a really good mana base now. Probably going. Guess we're gusting this turn, and we can go Uro plus Lightning Bolt next turn. 23-5 with Dried. Hell yeah. Yeah, I'm glad everybody's doing well with the deck. Yeah, I think the Reflecting Pool was a good tech too. They put the Goblin Guide on the bottom. Kind of nice that enters untapped. I'm just passing here. Yeah, I've played. Yeah, I was talking about that earlier, Doom. This deck is favored against 4-color, and it's also better than 4-color in my opinion against like most of the creature decks and most linear decks in general, in my opinion. And so like maybe you lose some points against Temple's Trickery because you're not a Teferi deck, but just those things combined make this deck, in my opinion, the best Uro pile, which is something I've been saying today. Yes, thank you, Goblin Guide. Kind of think we're going counter their Rift Bolt, tap their team, Sanctuary Lightning Bolt to the top, and the next turn Lightning Bolt Eidolon, and then escape Uro with Flusterstorm up for a Skullcrack. You would love to throw Jund against this? Really? No love for Bone. We've talked. I think Bone Crusher Giant is a very good card in Modern. Bone Crusher Giant obviously has synergy with Invasion of the Giants. Bone Crusher Giant is also, I think, not a card that is good in control decks, where it is a bad removal spell, and then you are much worse at taking advantage of the 4/3 body than other decks are. So that's my take on Bone Crusher Giant. So if somehow this turns into more of a mid-rangey deck, I'm like way more about it, but that's my current opinion on Bone Crusher in this list. Yeah, I think you can build a Jund version that dances with this. Obviously, Boyle's really good against us, but game 1 at least seems tough, no matter like what variant of Jund you're on. Yeah, has anyone been able to Bloodbraid into Valky yet? Sexy Jund? I wasn't able to do it when I was trying. Flusterstorm has been Modern legal since Modern Horizons, so like, can you like 20 months now, something like that? It doesn't really feel like it's been that long, but that's how long it's been. You mana tied their prime time. That's awesome. Yeah, I think I might try to play some of the Valky and Legacy with Shardless Agent deck. I think I asked for the list earlier. Nobody gave it to me. But that sounds really fun. I might just like tweak a couple cards if I don't like it. But Meebo did it right now against Temple's Trickery. They had a Violent Outburst on top. Oh, that's awesome. Meebo, I always like watching Meebo play Jund. I know she really likes the deck. I like the deck too, but I also make fun of it all the time. Our hand is also very, very good. But I have also been losing to Burn on the draw recently. She's 3-0. Yeah, we 4-1'd a league with Jund recently. Like, I do feel like the deck is playable. I could honestly see no attacks here being good. Yeah, I'll just bolt here so that way we could cast like Invasion of the Giants or Aether Gust, any 2-mana spell we draw. I'm gonna let this resolve, although I could see gusting it. I really just don't mind gusting almost anything, but it's pretty bad if they go like land 2-drop. But now that they're not this turn, I'll just gust this. I think you're just supposed to take like your 1-for-1 on the turn where you have gust to do and nothing else in this matchup. You're considering a sideboard Primal Command over the 4th Prime Time. I'm not a fan of that. I think that if you're trying to have like another card for like you have Gargaroth as like your 5-mana threat for this matchup, so I don't like it there. I'm also not playing the 4th Prime Time right now. I'm only playing 3. But I think Gargaroth is better than Primal Command for like this like big 5-mana spell against Burn, if that's what you want it to be. And if you want like a spell that gains life, Weather the Storm is better. Right, the mountain, it does make it awkward because we can't escape Uro this turn, but we're at a very healthy 17 life. Our opponent has 2 cards in their hand. Any land allows us to escape Uro or play Gargaroth, and we can cast any spell we draw besides Cryptic Command because I cited out my Primeval Titans. So I'm feeling pretty good here. Yeah. Let's go for the... I think we want to go for Gargaroth here. Okay, they just... Because that way if they have Skullcrack, they're, you know, maybe... I guess, I don't know. Maybe it was better to escape Uro just to start making them burn through Skullcracks, but... I mean, Lightning Bolt is good against the Obosh deck, but I think we have to mulligan. Going to keep this, putting back, I suppose, Force of Negation, since we've taken a mulligan here. I'm just going to play Stomping Ground tapped. We can get a basic island and a basic forest to play around their Blood Moons, but it's not going to be great until we have, you know, 2 of each. Any picks for end of first week heavy hitters from Kaldheim? I mean, Invasion of the Giants and Tybalt's Trickery are the biggest 2. I also think Pyre of Heroes is going to be stock in Goblins. I think Pyre of Heroes is great, and I think it is great in Goblins. Oh, this is the Ponza variant. Interesting. It felt very, very good last week. We're going to play more of that too. But today's Mog Monday, so I didn't want to step on Jim's toes too much. I guess we're gonna Steam Vincent bolt this here. It's pretty bad if they do have a bolt, but we can also like we're not that unlikely to find another. Or sorry, not a bolt, a Blood Moon. Yeah, and so here let's go Wrenn, get back Misty, so we can play a basic island. They revealed Obosh the Prey Piercer, so this is the variant of Ponza that plays Luca and Emrakul. I've only ever seen the first episode of Yu-Gi-Oh, and then I've seen various bits of episodes when I watch Canister stream. And I enjoy watching Canister watch Yu-Gi-Oh. Do you have to buy Valky? If so, how many? I don't think I could ever recommend that somebody like invests into Jund, but if you have that sunk cost fallacy, if you're already like there, I like 3 Valky in Jund personally. But I've only played 2 leagues of Jund with Valky, so my stance on that could change. I'm kind of down to trim like 1 Primeval Titan here. Don't like Jace against Ponza. I think I'm going to keep all 4 Force of Negation against the Luca variant. I usually like prefer 3, but they've got 5-mana Planeswalkers in their deck. Not a huge fan of Remand. We can trim 1 copy. You can probably trim... I guess if they're playing land destruction, Wrenn and Six is better, but not so good against Blood Moon, though. Probably trim on Invasion of the Giants. Oh, Flame Slash is also better than Bolt if they play Glorybringer. There's another card I'm forgetting, too, right? They don't play Questing Beast because they're playing Obosh. There is a card I'm forgetting. Will Jund ever make a comeback? I think Jund will like always be, or I should probably say will often be playable enough for you to play it if you really like the deck. It'll be playable enough for you to... Oh, you know what? We saw that we saw Birds of Paradise. They're playing more dorks than usual. Let me actually play the all 5 1-mana removal spells. Yeah, but I think Jund will always be playable enough for you to like 3/2 pretty often on Magic Online if you're really good with the deck. It'll always be good enough for you to like, you know, just not lose money playing it. I think that it will be very rare for it to ever be like the deck to play for a tournament though. At this point, I think that I would be very surprised to like be excited to register Jund for a tournament because I feel like I've solved the meta. But you know, Logan Nettles can still find success at tournaments with Jund, so you know, I think you're probably not playing the best deck if you choose to play it, but you are playing a deck that nobody's choosing to hate on. You would be playing a deck that is a little under the radar, which does have value. Turn 2 Klothys on the play, much less scary than a turn 2 Blood Moon. I think I'm just going to go ahead and get a Triome here. And then let's get basic Forest. And then get back a fetch land with Wrenn and Six. The Misty Rainforest for sure. I didn't come here for Jund simping. Well, sorry. I think they still have the exclamation the X button up there. I don't know if they moved it. But I'm pretty sure it's still there. The little X. Am I pointing the wrong way? Yeah, somewhere up there. I always laugh at Magus of the Moon. We have 2 Uros. Yeah, I think it's fine to let them Klothys one of them here. We can ping the Wood Elves and then bolt the Magus of the Moon. But I'll probably wait to bolt Magus of the Moon in case they have a Luca. I guess they're just going to attack with the Magus first and then we'll bolt it. But whatever. Alright, so let me fetch another island here. We can fetch the other forest off of the Misty once we go spiral into Cryptic Command. So, do we fear the Boil here? Oh, no we don't because they have Obosh. This is all spells, right? Yes. All spells. They conceding? Wow. Let me actually just throw up the overall record here so I don't have to keep calculating it, and also so I can flex. But I'm probably gonna make a big Twitter post about this deck. Let's keep this hand. A villain in the later seasons, I see. Who only plays online. So we're probably gonna go Breeding Pool into fetch an island, Growth Spiral into Triome. Alright. Well, definitely not spiraling on our main phase now that we've drawn Remand, and not sure if I will Remand Wrenn and Six, but I probably will. Looks like some Stoneblade variant. Do I care about Stoneforge Mystic here? I'm not sure that I do, especially because we can probably go Uro plus hold up Remand next turn. Yeah, I feel like the Stoneforge just doesn't even do very much, or at least doesn't do like enough to counter. I guess I was supposed to let it resolve first. That way, they don't know exactly what they want to be tutoring. They get Sword of Fire and Ice. Yeah, not too worried about that. So I could go Wrenn and Six with Remand up here. It's probably good enough, right? If they force... Okay, don't need to... I wasn't... I think I would have just remanded the force and made them lose another blue card. Let's remand this, because then they can't get the Hierarch down and activate Stoneforge Mystic. Yeah, Trophy means going 5-0 in this league. We're currently 2-0, and also our deck is perfect. So those are all the factors you need to know when considering... Oh no. Ooh. I'm also a buffoon, so it's another factor you need to consider when thinking about if you want to predict or not. Confirmed buffoon, aspiring buffoon. Get 2 zombies. They got Sword of Fire and Ice, so they need to naturally have Batterskull and Sword of Feast and Famine here to get through. They don't. Hey Emma, how you doing? Yeah, what are the predictions looking like? 50-50 with 250k on both. Glad to see some believers in the chat. So they need to now chump. I guess not chump block. What we can do here is we can go and grab Steam Vents, get a second zombie, ping their Noble Hierarch, attack Teferi, and then play a second Wrenn and Six. If we want to kill that Teferi that badly. But maybe it would just be better to play Wrenn and Six plus and then cast a Primeval Titan. They are chump blocking. It's good for us, I guess. Yeah, this seems like the line to me. Can get a second breeding pool. Good luck. They can't cast Cryptic Command here, so unless they have like a random main deck verdict, which doesn't seem great. Feeling pretty good. Needle's like okay against Stoneblade decks. I'm not sure how badly I actually want it though. Explosive seems like it'll be fine. Probably don't want Flame Slash. I think 4 Bolt is probably enough removal. Kind of down to cut the 4th Force and the 4th Uro. Remand also doesn't seem great. Seems kind of like a necessary thing on the draw to be able to counter Teferi, and maybe that's the reason why we just want 4 Force. Yeah, I can see on the draw just not playing Remand. Something like this. Can you still vote when you're 4-0? No, it ends in 5 minutes, or it's probably over by now. Could be wrong about that. I'll probably play Narset on the play. Seems a bit worse on the draw. Yeah, Wrenn and Six is great against them. What are we Flusterstorming? Yeah, they're counter spells. Like if they're playing, I think they probably have Cryptic Commands and Force of Negations and Veil of Summers. So having like 1 Flusterstorm to win counter battles is probably worth having. They probably play Mana Leak Remand too. Are the counter spells not just Queller? I guess it might. I mean, it's not just Queller. I personally don't. There are variants that don't play Queller, and I think that those are better. But it's true that they probably are just playing Quellers. I mean, I think the first one is good. Just like, especially with our mana curve, 1 mana interaction I think is at a premium, especially on the draw, which is like why you see me playing Disputes and Flusterstorms over Tail's End in the sideboard. But I agree that this is not a premium card overall, but just 1 mana interaction is pretty important. I'm gonna keep this. How many of those 5 losses are to Trickery? 2. I think I'm probably like 5 or 6 and 2 against Trickery decks, but it's definitely not a layup of a matchup. And also, like, the 2 matches I did lose to it, I certainly felt like my opponent was playing much tighter than the opponents who I was able to beat. So I think we're playing Invasion of the Giants here. They could obviously go Counterspell into Teferi, but if they play Teferi next turn, we just if we can find a Giant, then we can kill their Teferi with Lightning Bolts. Seems good to me. Is this deck broken? I think it's very good. I think that this is the best Uro deck in Modern at the time of making this comment. It's like a little early to say that, but you know, I've played every Uro variant, and I've played now 32 matches of this deck, and I'm pretty high on it. Yeah. You think Tectonic Giant is underrated? I mean, Tectonic Giant is, I think, too low power level for Modern. I have considered other Giants. Bone Crusher Giant is a card I think is like powerful with Invasion of the Giants, but is much less good in a control shell. Kozuma, awesome. I think Kozuma is super cool. I've been meaning to. I'm the more and more I think about Kozuma, the higher I am rating the card. So expect me to cast it sometime soon. Not into it. I'm gonna keep this. Howdy, Lamp. Yeah, Quakebreaker may have longer legs. And like, even if you have to discard it and have a Giant in play, which is a lot of hoops to jump through, and then deals 2 damage to your opponent. You know, it's just not good, I think. We were trying to brew different Pyre of Hero decks besides Goblins on stream during the PTQ, and it still seems like to me that Goblins is going to be the best deck for that archetype. Put a mold to 5. Kind of feel like they're playing Burn. I think I'm playing this tapped. They have Eidolon, it's a little awkward, but we can't get basic Mountain and then Growth Spiral on turn 2 anyways. Oh, this is taxes, I see. Canister, thanks for the raid, dude. GG's earlier. How do you feel about the Tibble's Trickery deck? I've now formed the opinion that the deck is just kind of busted and maybe a little unhealthy for Modern. But you've definitely played way more of it than me, so I'm interested in your opinion. If you don't need to like immediately dip. Where are my beautiful blonde braids? They got stuck and I had to rip them out. I'm gonna see if they can get surgically reattached, but. So how do we MS Paint Quakebreaker onto this Golgari Longlegs? Do we keep the name Golgari Longlegs and just put the Quakebreaker art there? Is that the play? He ranks at F? Then maybe I just have like weird experiences with it then. It's good to know. I'm like kind of happy. I'm happy to hear Canister rank it an F because I was worried about the deck existing. Not to be rude, but I'd say that your deck being quite non-busted is potentially influenced by my opinion. I mean, maybe I've been running really well with this deck, but I think this deck is quite good that we're playing. But I guess this deck doesn't just put Emrakul into play on turn 3, huh? Turn 2 sometimes, yeah. I mean, I'm 28-5 with the deck, which isn't, you know... I'm also playing against decks like this a decent amount of the time. They probably play some amount of Boils. I guess we probably wouldn't keep the Forces and stop Blood Moons and Boils and some amount of Chalices. Got the Jace, trim on Cryptic. Is Needle worth bringing in? I'm I'm not sure exactly what they're doing. I think Explosive seems better than Needle. Needle stops Aether Vial. It's not like that good against Stoneforge Mystic. Do I think it's possible to use different types in Pyre of Heroes decks? I was trying to figure out how to play both Shamans and Elementals in the same deck, and I haven't figured it out yet if it's possible. I think the Jace is good, Fran, but maybe I just like am a boomer, right? But I think the first copy of Jace is good. I'm gonna keep this. Is it a good Uro pile deck, but does it have to be the best? The more Uro, the better. I am of the opinion that this is the best Uro deck right now, but obviously I don't have the largest sample size to say for sure. But I've played all the other ones, and this feels stronger to me than them after 33 matches, which is not the smallest sample size ever. That's probably not enough to like really conclude anything. Yeah, if they play like Lead and Arbiter, I'm gonna really want to bolt it this turn. Consider Changeling. I mean, I've looked at Changelings too, but I mean, so that's kind of interesting. You can sack a Changeling and get any creature type, I guess, but it's not like the most interesting thing. Got a Mexican standoff here. Not gonna like Flame Slash and then bolt after they Ghost Quarter. Just gonna pass. We tried Vampires. It didn't seem great. Or good, even. When do you feel like we'll see any bans in Modern? I'm still thinking about when I want to announce the ban list. We'll see. Just kind of whenever I feel like it. Second copy of Lean and Arbiter, huh? Alright, I guess we're just getting Ghost Quartered. Do I control Modern, or I control Modern? I'm in charge of the Modern ban list. I've just been kind of slacking. But yeah, I control the Modern ban list. I don't really understand it. You know, Mark Rosewater just emailed me one day and it's like, hey, I see you play a lot of Modern. We don't. Can you just handle the Modern ban list for us? And I was like, yeah, sure, dude. I'd be happy to. Big fan, by the way. It's probably not good to play around another Arbiter and a Ghost Quarter, but it's also pretty bad if they have exactly that. When are we freeing KCI? Again, since Mark Rosewater personally asked me to be the controller of the Modern ban list, I've been very lazy and haven't even once used my powers, but maybe I will when I get bored of just playing these blue decks all the time. Really, as soon as I lose to any deck, that's when I'll ban something, I think. As soon as I lose to Tibalt's Trickery even one time, I'll ban it. So I guess you know that happened earlier today, so I'll be banning that later. Can you unban Faithless Looting? I'll unban it for one league just for you. Alright, we're now playing for 5-0 for the Believers. Hopefully we can get the Believers paid off. This hand cannot turn 2 Invasion of the Giants, but if it draws a red source in the top 2, we get to turn 4 Titan, turn 3 Uro. I'm going to keep. It's not ironic if it's the truth. Deep. Very deep. Ding, ding, ding. Ding, ding, ding. Jeskai Triome. So either 4-color or Jeskai. Is 29-5 the same as 24-0? 24-0 is much more difficult than 29-5. It's like kind of absurd. Alright, this looks like 4-color Uro Omnath, which I have found to be a good matchup. That being said, it's not crazy good or anything, just I think favorable. I don't think I've lost to it yet. Yeah, I think that they're not definitely going to counter Invasion of the Giants here. And obviously, like, I kind of just want to jam turn 4 Titan. So I think we want to get down first. If they mana leak it, they mana leak it. Let's go bottom. If they play a Planeswalker this turn, Invasion can ping it. They can't play Omnath this turn, which is nice. Get back their Strand, play their Strand. Probably getting Temur Triome, we'll see. It's another Invasion of the Giants. Am I going to play Uro or am I going to play Prime
It's me,
Time?
your friend, Aspiring Spike.
If we play Uro, we'll have 5 mana next turn. And Field of the Dead will trigger immediately if Prime Time resolves. Feels close. Uro also gives us the out to draw Lightning Bolt for Wrenn. Mean Lizard, 5 months. Hope you're having a good day today. Or Force of Negation for a threat of theirs. It also means if they tap out for a threat, if we play Uro, Primeval Titan's triggering Field of the Dead immediately, which is pretty nice. You played your list in the Saturday PTQ to 5-4. It felt good versus everything but Blue-Red Prowess, which I got smashed by 3 times. Is there any way to salvage that matchup? Got my Flame Slashes and Bolts kind of by me. I mean, yeah, your red removal spells are at their worst in that matchup, and I think that that's probably just going to be your reality, you know? And that's okay. Yeah, of all my threats, I think Uro is the one I wanted to get mana leaked the most. And it's really nice that you cannot Force of Negation a Primeval Titan. Oh, they bounced Invasion. Well, that's a good play. Well, now we can maybe ping that Wrenn and Six, and then an Invasion is going to give us some value. It's a cool line that they took, though. I guess we only have 1 red source unless this Wrenn and Six resolves, which is a big problem. Alright, well, let's try to get this Wrenn and Six to resolve, I guess. Yeah, no, I'd rather just play Invasion this turn and ping the Teferi next turn than ping the Teferi, of course. What are blue-red Prowess's bad matchups? It's pretty good against every deck, honestly, if I'm being real. Yeah, we can also ping and Bolt Wrenn next turn if we want to. We'll see what ends up happening. How many times have I played against Tipple's Trickery? 5 or 6, and 2 of our losses are to Tipple's Trickery, even though we're main decking 4/4s. They get back Flooded Strand. I mean, Tipple's Trickery is pretty good against their deck in game 1. This is awesome, killing Teferi. We can play Uro, Invasion, and Bolts. But we probably want to do it off of Mystic Sanctuary so we can have... I guess it's probably better to shock and Breeding Pool first. Yeah, let's do it like this. Does Uro count as a giant or is it Elder Giant creature type? It's a giant. Creatures with multiple types benefit from both. Good question. What is the Trickery deck doing? Winning the game most of the time. Ooh, opponent is a gamer. Opponent is a gamer. Don't think we're dead. Might be dead. Yeah, not quite dead. But pretty cold to a counterspell next turn. Although we could maybe find our own counterspell and play 4 mana Primeval Titan with like Force of Negation up. Or we could keep Spiral and make 2 zombies, which is just not enough. They bolt me. If they have a second copy of Lightning Bolt or Mystic Sanctuary plus a cantrip, we die. That is a cantrip and a Mystic Sanctuary. Alright, good enough for me. Going on to game 2. I've got more cards to bring in this matchup than I had previously. Guess I don't want to be in on this many Aether Gusts. I think on the play I don't want 4 Force of Negation, but I will on the draw. I can also see trimming a Primeval Titan because they're kind of hard to tap out for. But I could also just see playing 1 Gust. Let's do that. This is easily a... I really dislike Gargaroth against Teferi Time Raveler decks. I think this is not a Gargaroth matchup, but we can disagree. I like Gargaroth against Swift Spear decks, and honestly, like mostly just those. I don't know. Aether Gust just misses most of our opponent's counterspells and misses Teferi. It hits. It's like it's fine against Uro, not great against Uro. It's fine. It's good against Omnath. It's okay against Wrenn and Six, but we're on the play, so Wrenn and Six is much less of a problem. It's also like Gargaroth's pretty bad against the Mana Leak deck too, I think. Yeah, it can also just be really bad to draw 2 Aether Gusts when your opponent has like all blue spells, and I think it's okay to... I think the first copy is good, and then they have diminishing returns. It's the only card we have answer to an onboard Wrenn, Uro. Well, that's not entirely true, because like we can play... We have like our own onboard Wrennens and Uros to like keep up, I guess. Is definitely a big thing. And then like Remand is also very good against Uro, and so is Narset. And gusting an onboard Wrenn is also often like not that great, I've found. Cryptic is not an answer with the hits aboard. Cryptic is pretty good at bouncing Uro. I mean bounce spells are good against Uro. It's not like crazy good, but it's fine. Also, like a lot of times, they'll just get a bunch of zombies going, but she'll just have Mystic Sanctuary tap, bounce Sanctuary. Just gonna put it on top. You aggressively counter spirals. I don't think you counter spiral in every spot, but there are spots to counter spiral. Let's just let this resolve, and so we can play Invasion next turn with Remand up. You're saying the Gus is a 1-for-1 answer, and so is Cryptic, just like an efficient one, because you get to draw a card. Yeah, we put the card back in their hand, which gives them another 2-for-1. It's not 2-for-1 if you draw the card off of Cryptic. It's neutral. Incoming Dispute. I mean, that's just kind of fine. I might Remand my own Invasion, but that's probably bad if it can just escape Uro. I'll keep the Titan. I'm not sure if I want to keep this Growth Spiral, though. I think I'm gonna not. Yeah. Well, it's kind of. I think it is I think it ends up being a 1-for-1, right? But it's not. It's maybe not a super traditional one. Reflecting Pool just Boil Tech? No, Reflecting Pool is just good in the deck. Just like you need to have some you need to have some lands like this for Field of the Dead. And I think Reflecting Pool is like the first copy of Reflecting Pool is good. What happens if 2 Reflecting Pools are on the battlefield? If those are the only 2 lands you control, they don't tap for any color. So that's why I think they have diminishing returns, but I think the first copy is good, especially in your Field of the Dead deck. Having multiple lands of the same name is always a cost. I played the deck in League and felt really strong, but I did not know if the enchantment really adds that much. I think Invasion of the Giants is quite strong. I think it's very good. Yeah, I just want to remand the escape. I don't really want to remand the front half here. I like the Cascade Bluffs. Filtering basic mountain into mana that can cast Uro is really important in my opinion. Or at least the ability to do that. My opponent also doesn't have lands here. I'm not going to reveal the Titan, I think. I'd love for them to tap out, thinking we don't have a giant in our hand. Yeah, this deck just fetches Triumphs so often, and then all of a sudden your mana is perfect if you have a Reflecting Pool. Let me think. I'm going to play Wrenn and Six. I'm just not sure if I'm going to fight. I'm not going to fight over Force of Negation, I guess, because we need to be able to remand Uro. But I'm okay with this getting countered. And so because of that, I don't think we need to play a land first. Is there no Simic Filter Land? Simic Filter Land does not let you cast Uro off of basic mountain, which is like the main reason I like the Cascade Bluffs. It's like the same tech I've been having. I've been playing in the Bant Ephemerate deck. Mystigate filters basic planes into mana that can cast Uro, and also double white for Skyclave. Because no double red needed. Again, that's the. I mean, you're probably just typing before I. It's probably a bit of a delay, but that's the reason why I like Cascade Bluffs. Also, always like cost invasion, which is pretty nice. Opponent if they miss another land drop, which I guess they will be. What did they put Aether Gust on top? It's kind of obnoxious. Any other decks lined up? We might play another deck today. We'll see. Why are they doing this? Why are they doing this? I'm just gonna keep. They Mystic Sanctuary to be able to do this. I wish we would play something else than an Uro pile. I played lots of non-Uro piles last week, but you can also donate for the deck you want me to see or you want to see. I keep Dispute to protect the Titan. You feel like our Wrenn would have gotten gusted in response to that fetch? Maybe. It's kind of fine. Yeah, I still think I'm not revealing. It's discarding that for turn. Then we can probably resolve Primetime next turn. Also getting pretty close to a Rimblum. Bounce Wrenn and Six, draw a card. I kind of think we just let this resolve. Let's go let it resolve. No, we need to save this Dispute to protect the Primetime for next turn. No way, let's use Revenue to discard 2. We have to discard 2 lands, which we have a Wrenn and Six in our hand to just get back. The 2 lands are like not really big deals, especially without Field of the Dead in play. Yeah, that's the 3rd time they've gusted my Invasion of the Giants. Which is just so fine. Seems like you just lost the tempo you gained. Well, I mean, sure, but if we fight and then they can, it's not like they have. If they can resolve an Uro, or if they can resolve an Hour of Promise, or it's a Fairy, because we fought over this Cryptic Command that doesn't matter that much, I think it's terrible. It's like it's so bad for us if that happens. Whereas like the Wrenn getting bounced just I don't think matters that much. Especially when our opponent has like 2 mana up, and all of a sudden if we like cast a Force of Negation or cast our really high value Mystical Dispute, and then they just have a 1 mana protection spell, it's really bad for us. So I think I'm going to hard cast Force with Dispute and Pitch Force up here. Save the Remand for Hour of Promise potentially. Although we could Mystic Sanctuary the Remand. Yeah, let's try to do that, I think. Maybe I was supposed to fetch before the Scry. I'd ideally like to not shuffle. So if they play like a 2-mana protection spell, maybe I'll just pitch Force and not shuffle. Nah, I think I'll keep. I think that's a bit of a spew to do. Now we get to resolve a Titan, unless they have Pact of Negation. Now I'm going to Mystic Sanctuary back Dispute, I think. Maybe Remand. Yeah, let's go back to Remand. We have 2 slots open in the dono queue for this week, for those of you interested. Yeah, imagine paying 6 mana for Primeval Titan. Can't. What are my thoughts on PO? Is PO Paradoxical Outcome? Has that deck been doing well recently? Going to game 3. Obviously, Invasion of the Giants is good. It ate 3 Aether Gust from our opponent. Obviously strong. Alright, on the draw, I want this 4th Force of Negation. I think I want to cut the 3rd Titan on the draw. Probably not making any other changes. Looks pretty good to me. Yeah, what is PO? Is PO Paradoxical Outcome? Because if it is, I don't know. I don't have an opinion, I guess. You feel like they lost more than they won? Why would they Aether Gust the thing? I mean, I don't know. I mean, we might have won anyways, but I agree that their play was bad. Do I play around Tail's End? Tail's End is so bad for us here. We're forcing Wrenn and Six anyways, so I guess we will. Yeah, their Aether Gusts I think were bad. I agree. Definitely agree. But I also think we played well. I'm gonna bomb the 2nd Force, but keep the land. Although the basic mountain is not a good land to have here, but I think it's like good enough to keep. Getting to resolve Narset would be pretty rad. Pretty bad if they go like Force into Omnath and we can't force their Omnath, but that's they have to have Force blue card, Omnath land in their 5 cards, so it's probably good to jam here, is what I'm saying. And we still have Aether Gust for Omnath, you know, that's kind of a fail safe. Might leave this on 5. What are the chances that they have Lightning Bolt in their deck? Really low. Yeah, really low that they have Lightning Bolts post-board. 250,000 channel points riding on an Uro Mirror game 3. Yeesh, man. Well, he might be doubling up here. Very exciting. I guess we don't have 6 because this could be Remand. Oh, we can also we have to draw a Giant to be able to ping the Teferi, but we have 2 looks. Kind of exciting. I think we're pretty ahead, even if the Teferi resolves, but it's a lot closer. It's Mana Leak. Are they going to bounce Invasion? We'll see. We'll see. They're definitely not. They shouldn't minus because we have Narset. They should plus. Yeah. No, I don't really like that. Then evasion can ping this if we find just any giant. They really value this. I mean, minus here is maybe bad against Wrenn. I think we still do it. I'll take another one of these, I think, over the second Cryptic. We can go... We can't play 2 invasions this turn, but we can go... Spiral, Invasion, play Stomping Ground tapped. Hopefully we find a giant. Didn't find a giant. It feels that's nice, but I think because I have 2 snow-covered islands, I'm just not keeping it. Yeah, obviously my opponent is just a paid actor, made to make Invasion look as nuts as possible. Can we draw a giant just to kill this? I did trim on 1 copy. Did not draw a giant. Giant. Become unstoppable. Let me play 1 copy of Invasion of the Giants before I decide if I'm going to bounce this or if I'm just going to play a second copy. If we draw a second, if we can find a giant, we get to ping the Teferi down next turn off of both triggers. We have 5 or 6 looks at a giant, so this is probably the line. Even though we did not actually find one yet. Yeah, what rings you got? Bottom again. Not the end of the world if we miss, but it's a lot of looks. Still 2 more looks. We had 2 more looks to ping twice on the Teferi, and then we even have a 3rd look to just ping once. Did I think we put 2 on the bottom with Narset? You know, I think you're right. Maybe it was better to scry or just to shuffle first. I always forget about that. That's definitely like a weak spot of my game, is like remembering when I've bottomed with cards. Yeah, I just didn't find a giant. Alright. Yeah, my opponent's hand is, you know, weak here, it seems. Yeah, let me play Wrenn and Six as like the bait spell here, because I care more about this resolving, I think. Can pay for mana leak on either. Bottom. Ping this. Cycles Veil of Summer. Feels good that we didn't jam Cryptic into that. Yeah, if we draw a Prime Time, it costs 2 mana, which is very exciting. We have 2 looks at that. Uro is something we'll take. Do we even have giants in this deck? We have Invasion of the Giants. What do we need actual giants for? It's pretty good. There we go. There we go. So we get to kill the Teferi, which is so nice. Unless they somehow kill my Wrenn and Six right now. Man, not as good as Prime Time, but I mean they probably have a counterspell for Prime Time. I've also been talking about this a bit. One really nice, like, obviously 4 mana Prime Time on turn 4 is good, but you can also play and escape Uro on turn 4 with Invasion, which is pretty nice. So I guess I want to Sanctuary back Force before we play Uro here. Path to Exile. I think I'm bouncing Uro and drawing a card to play around a Veil. Mana Leak. Oof. Yeah, I'll shuffle away the Force. We need to find another threat now. We have Gust for their Uro if that's what they're on here. We also are losing our Narset, which is a problem. Can Gust Uro back? No, I think we need to save the Gust for their Uro. Maybe that's not correct. We can also Mystic Sanctuary back Cryptic, and then bounce Invasion of the Giants and draw a card, and then replay Invasion of the Giants. Just get a little bit of value, potentially. I mean, if you have Uro, you have another Gust, because you have blue fetch anyways. If you have Uro, you have another Gust. It's really bad if they get to resolve this, but they can't Gust or Veil to protect it. I kind of feel like they have another Veil because they cycled one. Why not Gust your Uro, keep Cryptic? Well, I mean, you lose a draw step if you Gust your own Uro. It's not... doesn't return it to the hand, which is worse. But maybe that was the line. Maybe that was the line. I think I like this play too. Get a little bit of card advantage, which is what we need here. Guess it's really bad if they have a Gust. You redraw it off. I mean, yeah, but you still lose the draw. You know what I mean? Maybe it's better than I think. I feel like it was close, though. Keep the Cryptic, I guess. Who's our Wrenn, which isn't the biggest deal. Lose the draw, gain an Uro in the graveyard. Well, the Uro goes to the top, and then we have to play it again. We don't have enough mana to play and escape it immediately, right? Just trying to think. They're not replaying their Uro, so that probably means that they have a Cryptic Command in their hand. Which we probably win the fight over. I think I'm playing my Mountain here to play around like mana leaks and stuff. To the best of my ability. Counter draw. So the storm count is currently 2, which Flusterstorm does not quite beat. So I think I'm going to counter draw with my own Cryptic, and then if they have another protection spell, that's their one non-Uro card, we have Flusterstorm for it. We know their last card is Uro, so this wins the fight. Oh, hold on. Actually, we don't know I didn't actually look. I just assumed that they put it on top. They put Uro on the bottom. They put Uro on the bottom. I just assumed. I didn't even look. I was also supposed to put some. I guess no, never mind. They don't have any blue mana. But if they have blue mana up, it was better to target some copies of their Cryptic Command. I think a Brainstorm is better than bouncing the zombie here. And holding up Hardcast Force is better than playing out a Wrenn and Six. We might just be pinging a zombie twice next turn. Guess I want to shuffle, make sure we can because of Tail's End. Ephemerate after this? I don't know. I'm enjoying this deck a lot. I'm winning a lot with it, and I'm planning on posting like one more league of data, at least, to Twitter after this stream, just to see what my overall record is. So more data, the more better. I don't hate forcing this, just taking the 1-for-1. It's really bad if my opponent's last card is Hour of Promise, though. But it's also like pretty bad if my opponent... I guess what are we hoping that their last card is? And it feels like it's not a better threat than this. I think it's worth it, but it's very close. Damn it. Damn it. Feels bad. Obviously not unbeatable. Just draw a Prime Time or a Cryptic Command, and we're pretty ahead here. We have a lot of looks too. And we bricked. And we bricked. So they're top decking. We get to shuffle and we get another look at Uro, Primetime, Cryptic Command. We have 2 more Cryptics 2 prime times, 3 Uros. And maybe if they... It's also possible we get 2 turns. I don't think so, though. Couldn't you Wrenn Mystic to the top? I don't have another Mystic Sanctuary in my deck. I'm only playing 2. Also running out of lands. I thought I just shuffled that away. I guess I didn't. So we're dead if our opponent has another basic land to get with Field of Ruin. Guess I was supposed to hold that too for field. Yeah, I mean, I assume they have another basic. I'm just going to make them do it. Wait, what are you missing? Why did the Growth Spiral warrant a counter? If our opponent hits any land, then they can threaten our Jace. And I also felt like if they had a better threat, that like a Planeswalker, then they would have led on that rather than Growth Spiral to play around a card like Mana Leak or Dispute on my end. So really their last card had to be exactly Hour of Promise. And it was. But any land was like pretty bad for us because of Jace. GG. Sorry to the believers. It's also possible we were supposed to gust around Uro. I'm not sure. Still like feels like a really complicated decision. But obviously like when their last card was exactly Hour of Promise, it's like pretty easy to say. Shouldn't have countered the spiral. Rest in peace.